Let's begin with developing news from Japan. There has been a major 7.1 magnitude earthquake. It's hit the nation's southwest on the island of Kyushu, injuring dozens and causing significant damage. We have the moment for you, captured on CCTV cameras when the tremor initially struck the Kumamoto prefecture. It also registered the highest possible level of 7, that is on Japan's own Shindo scale of shaking. The threat of a tsunami has eased, but we are beginning to get a sense of the scale of the damage. And let's show you these pictures. Multiple people trapped inside, we understand, a shopping mall that was damaged during the earthquake. According to witnesses, there was an explosion and smoke came out from the building. We're also getting reports from Japan as well that the mall's second floor has absolutely collapsed. And you can see that the scale of the damage there from these pictures, these aerial pictures that we've just got in. Several buildings have also collapsed. Fires have broken out across the area. The public broadcaster is saying at least 50 people have been taken to hospital. And the force of the earthquake has knocked this train carriage off its tracks. We know at least one company had to suspend its operation. And have a look at these pictures here. Quite remarkable, really. Other infrastructure has been impacted too, including part of the bridge. People still on the other side of the bridge, which really is remarkable, but some of that collapsed, as you can see the side of it, into the river. The Prime Minister has said that the government is still assessing the extent, though, of the damage right across the region. Officials also say 2 to 3 days from now, there is the possibility of another large quake, and many aftershocks are taking place because of the shallow epicenter of this quake. It was only around 10 kilometres deep. Our Asia correspondent Jake Kwon is monitoring events for us from the region. We can join him now. Jake, what is the latest that we're hearing from Japan?
Well, I think many people in the Kumamoto city area and the island of Kyushu, this is in the southwest of Japan, this is one of the major islands, were reminded of the nightmare that they've experienced 10 years ago when an earthquake hit the island, killing more than 200 people then. And today, a similar scale earthquake hit around 4:27 p.m. when a lot of people were still in their schools or offices, out shopping in a shopping center. And this is a major shopping center, the suburb of south of the Kumamoto city. And yes, we are getting the reports that there were injuries and possible deaths as the second floor of the shopping center had collapsed. And we have heard from the fire department saying that they have seen, they've heard the witness statement of explosion and fire, and they fear that many people inside are still trapped. Earlier, we saw videos of the fire department personnel as well as rescue workers walking into the center, trying to assess damage. And from the pictures, you know, it seems as though the front wall of the shopping center had collapsed. Now, this country, Japan, experiences earthquake quite regularly, but even for them, this is a major earthquake. It was so strong that even people in South Korea, where I am, have felt the tremor. And as you said, what the government is now doing is assessing the level of damage as well as injuries and possible deaths. They said the power line has been cut. There were reports of fires and collapsed buildings. The police have told the public broadcaster NHK earlier that they have had 4 separate reports of people trapped under the rubble. And they have suspended the train services, and they've also had to look into the nuclear power plant in the area because, of course, you know, there was that nightmare of the 2011 Tohoku earthquake. But thankfully this time, the nuclear power plant says everything is normal. But the Prime Minister Takaichi, she was saying that they have sent an investigation team to assess all the damages, and they have warned the public to keep their eyes on the radio and TV to make sure that they can hear if there's ever an evacuation or take shelter warning.
Jake, I think, as you rightly say, a lot of the focus is going to be on the Aeon Mall, which we have those pictures of, and you can really see the extent of the damage there and the reports that the second floor has collapsed, that people are trapped inside. So a lot of attention on there. But can I also just ask you, I mean, I'm from New Zealand, there's regular earthquakes there as well. When they're shallow like this one was, there's now surely a real concern that there could be another quake to follow.
Certainly, and the authority at this time has also warned that this is a real possibility. Now, whenever these earthquakes strike, the first thing we look at is, of course, the magnitude and the location to see if it's close to a population center like we've seen today. But also, the depth is very important. 10 kilometers that we've seen today is very shallow. And usually when this happens on any other parts of the world, the result is devastating. Now, this is the same depth that we've seen in the Venezuela earthquake, where thousands are feared dead. And this is the same level that we've seen in other major earthquake in the past. So this is something that when this happens in Japan, thankfully, because Japan has been preparing for many decades to make sure that their buildings are earthquake resistant, the damage tends to be smaller. However, having said that, when they had similar scale of earthquake near their population centers in the past, the results were hundreds, if not tens of thousands of people dead. And this is why the government is really trying to tell the public that tomorrow or the day after, there could be even a bigger earthquake, as we've seen in the same area in 2016.
Jake, really good to have that update. And we're just going to show you these pictures again because you can see the extent of the damage caused to the Aeon Mall. That is very much where the focus is, as I was mentioning, because witnesses saying there was an explosion, smoke came out of the building, and we're now getting these reports that the second floor of the mall has collapsed. The real concern is that people are trapped, stuck inside this building, this mall, because of the collapsed floor as well, and reports as well, many people taken to hospital. So this is something we're keeping a close eye on, what is happening in Japan, also those concerns that this quake could be followed up by others. So we'll bring you more on what is happening in Japan throughout the program.